His kids think he's a star athlete, but they're still very young. You're listening to Game Points with Matthew Ross on TSN Radio 690.
.634 on TSN 690. It's Game Points with Matthew Ross. We're here till 7 o'clock. Still to come, fantasy baseball chat with Jeff Erickson. Ask any fantasy baseball question for your team whatsoever. You can send them now. Text them in at 11690. We will ask Jeff your questions just after 6:45 today, or you can tweet them at Matthew Words on Twitter. We're, of course, brought to you by RoyalCeramic.com, a tremendous place on Pascal Gagnon in St. Leonard. Been around over 35 years. 324-0002 is the phone number. Ceramics, backsplashes, counters, cabinets, and a whole lot more. All right, let us talk some baseball here. David Trentadue, how you doing, sir?
Doing very well. Yourself?
I am very well, very well. Enjoy the weather today?
Yes, beautiful.
Mo Khan, I made my return to the baseball field. I have not played a game since I suffered a concussion while pitching in a softball league in July of 2014.
I remember that, yes.
And I was pitching in a fast pitch underhand. A line drive came back at me. I ducked out of the way, kind of like the Matrix, backwards, and I hit my head on the ground, on the pitching rubber, I think. Ouch. And I had serious concussion issues for a few days. It was misdiagnosed. I was diagnosed with labyrinthitis, an infection of the inner ear.
Yes, I remember that, yes.
I was on medication for nothing because I went to a specialist after that, and he told me it was a concussion. I actually ended up getting some advice from some players like Brandon London about how to take care of myself and so forth.
Yeah.
So anyway, dark time. But all that to say, I was out today for the Côte St. Luc Executive Softball League's pickup, have fun kind of just game today, just for fun. Showed up, had a lot of fun. So I may make my my mediocre return to a league near you.
You're playing at Brett Favre then?
Yeah, yes, the same quality. I'm used to fast pitch underhand, so these balls now being lobbed in the I almost broke my shoulder a couple times swinging and missing. So it's been a couple of years trying to get back in the swing of it, but any event. Great day today. Good day to play baseball. Lots going on in baseball, though. How about that segue? Mr. Trentadue, what are your top stories from MLB for us to chew on?
Well, I want to discuss Alex Rodriguez. He was dropped to the 6th spot in the lineup for the Yankees today. He was replaced by Carlos Beltran in the 3rd spot. He had previously been hitless in his last 19 straight at-bats. Well, it worked. He went 1 for 4, hit a 2-run shot in a 4-3 win over the Seattle Mariners. If you're Joe Girardi, do you keep him in the 6th spot or do you move him up?
Well, it's all about winning, and it's all about production. So if Rodriguez needs to be in the 6th spot, he needs to be in the 6th spot. It's not as though he's going to leg out a lot of singles and doubles. So I'm fine with him being lower down in the lineup. If I'm a Yankees fan, if he's producing at 6, and more importantly, if the 5 spot, whoever was in the 5 spot, is producing, then you got to leave him, I think, in the 6th spot.
Well, the story last week was who would have more home runs, Trevor Story of the Rockies or A-Rod with the Yankees, and I think Story's well on his way to surpassing that number. I think at the age that he's at now, at age 40, 41 years old, look, A-Rod's not going to hit you 30-plus home runs like he did last year. So I think at the end of the day, Girardi realizes he needs to put his best guys in the top of the order, given, again, his pitching isn't as strong as it once was many eons ago. So you put A-Rod in a comfortable position, no pressure at all. He gets his hits, and he might be a 25-homer guy for the Yankees this summer.
It's a lot to spend on 25 home runs. Elsewhere.
All right, the LA Dodgers pitcher's Kenta Maeda. He came from Japan this year. He began his MLB career. He pitched 6 shutout innings in 2 straight starts. He hit a home run in his second at bat for his first MLB hit. Is he the real deal, and what can you expect from him this year?
I don't have enough information to know whether he's the real deal or not. All I know is, Mo, you'll like this reference.
Yes.
12 consecutive shutout innings to begin his LA Dodgers career. The last pitcher to do this for the LA Dodgers to start his career went 14 innings of shutout. It happened in 1992. Want to take a guess? Jimmy G?
Hold on, so repeat that question again. I want to get this.
Yeah, you weren't listening at all.
No, I was.
No, it's fine.
No.
1992, started his career with 14 consecutive shutout innings as a pitcher for the LA Dodgers. Who was he? Crickets, nice. Jimmy G?
It's either Ramon Martinez or Hideo Nomo.
Jimmy, you are absolutely wrong. You should buzz yourself twice.
Pedro Martinez?
Mr. Ramon Martinez started in the 80s, so you're way off there.
Must have been very late.
Pedro
80s.
Martinez.
No, you said Ramon Martinez.
Ramon, yes.
Yes,
Pedro's brother.
He started in the 1980s, so you're wrong off that. As for Hideo Nomo, I believe Hideo Nomo started in 1995,
yes.
if I'm not mistaken. So Jimmy G, Mr. Stat himself, trying to compete with the Secretary of Stat, Mo Khan, not happening. Mo's trying to Google it, and I'm sure.
No, I'm not.
No?
I thought it was Pedro.
No. You got half the name right.
Oh, man.
Pedro is his first name. Pedro Astacio.
Oh, wow.
Pedro
classic.
Astacio. Yeah, thought you'd like that. I just saw that on Twitter from ESPN Stats. All right, so, yes, I don't know enough. Mo, do you know enough about this individual?
I saw a couple of the Dodger games earlier this week. I think for them right now, with the transition that they've gone through, losing Greinke to the D-backs, look, Kershaw will get his numbers. We know what he's going to do. He's a great regular season pitcher from April to the end of September.
No, we know about Kershaw. That wasn't the question.
But the thing is, though, what I want to see from the new superstar that they have now is, can he pitch in August and September? I think he's off to a good start, but we all know, Matt and Dave, that you go through an order once. Players will know your tendencies the second time they go against you if they play you down the road here. So I think we'll see what he does in May and June, where I think he might ascend, given what they have in the lineup right now for the Dodgers.
All right, and the last thing I want to talk about, Pablo Sandoval. I mean, he underwent an MRI on Thursday for the injury to his left shoulder. Dave Dombrowski refused to discuss it at all. There's been problems with his work ethic as well as his weight. There was a report about a trade request. How do you see this playing out for the Red Sox?
It's an ugly situation. He's not going anywhere unless he proves his worth on the field, and that's certainly not going to happen. The only way that this guy gets moved is if the Red Sox take on another bad contract or two. That's the only way that this is going to happen. If they pay for him and they take on a bad contract, and I just don't see it happening anytime soon. It's really sad, too. There was a former trainer of Sandoval, who was interviewed recently, talking about he trained him in 2011, 2012, when he was the World Series MVP in 2012, I think it was.
Yeah.
And talking about the fact that Sandoval has to be watched 24/7 because he's an overeater. He literally is an overeater. When he's monitored, when he's fed properly, when you watch him closely, he's fine because the exercise portion is not an issue for him. It's, in fact, the overeating and the diet. Exercising is not an issue for him. Training is not an issue. It's the overeating. So whether it's going back to this particular trainer based in Phoenix, Arizona, or someone else, that is the answer for him to get back on track. The question is whether he wants it or not.
Have you seen a clubhouse post-game spread of food? No, but seriously,
Yeah.
Baseball players have said we come to spring training in shape. By the time end of September rolls around, we have a couple rolls along our stomach. And look, for Sandoval right now, when he got that big deal from the Red Sox 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago, he was in the best shape of his life winning the World Series again with the Giants.
Yes.
He comes into Boston, doesn't play well. He's benched now, and now he's a $95 million bust because who knows what his future holds with Boston. He goes down to Alabama to get his shoulder checked out by James Andrew, the world-renowned surgeon, and who knows what's going to come out of that as a result, if he needs surgery or not. I think right now for Pablo, he's got to hope that someone's willing to take that contract and have him in the lineup because he is talented, Matt. He can play both ways here.
It's not like he's 37 years old.
No, he's not. And he's still in the prime of his career. But the question is, though, is he committed to being a guy that was once a good third baseman on the great Giant teams of 3-4 years ago?
Game Points with Matthew Ross here on TSN 690. That's the voice of Mo Khan. Jimmy G is here as well, and David Trentadue as well. Don't forget, GamePointsRadio.com is our blog. If you want to check out some audio from this program, there's already S.J. Green's interview from earlier today at 5:30 or so. We chatted with number 19 of the Montreal Alouettes, getting his thoughts on the offseason, the new acquisitions, and how he's preparing. So you can go ahead and check that out on GamePointsRadio.com. Mo, how are your Marlins doing? As our final topic
They're
here.
swept. Not good.
Oh, that's a shame. You know, I was as we were just talking about me outside playing some pickup softball today, and one guy had a Marlins shirt on, and you wouldn't believe the grief that this guy got. 5 or 6 guys were bothering this poor guy, Doug, such a nice guy, veteran guy, everyone likes him, and they kept hammering him about his Marlins jersey, and he said, "Hey, I got it for $6. All right, I don't care what was on it. It could have been a swear word, and we all kind of said, you know, we'd rather wear a swear word than a Marlins shirt. But
well, look,
you know, he bought it at Sawgrass down in
Florida.
You know, yeah, and $6. So he said, I had to take it. So that's the worth of the Florida Marlins logo. It was the new colors too.
I'm not a big fan of the new colors. But look, they have a 4-gamer against the Nats this week at home.
No, I'm not doing a whole segment on the Florida
I thought
Marlins.
you wanted to know who they have this week. They go on the road to the West Coast, San Fran, LA. Tough road schedule coming up for the Marlins this week.
Yeah, Mo Khan, in his dreams, Mo Khan is the ultimate WWE villain, and he is booed. And part of that persona is that he is, in fact, legitimately a Miami Marlins fan. That is legit.
I found the old teal hat, the classic first hat that they wore.
Oh, you have one?
I found that hat.
I've never seen you wear a hat. I'd love to see you come in with a hat.
I like to match it with my shoes. I'm a shoe connoisseur, and I like to match my stuff.
You like my hat? Because this is going to be quite popular here in the studio each week.
It's really dark in here.
Yeah,
Can't see it too well.
The Super Bowl 50 champion Denver Bronco hat.
Living in the past, Matt.